Start listening. Writing, colon. New line. Out the window. Capitalize window. If writers are supposed to keep it fresh, and they're also supposed to write what they know, then it only makes sense that they should go out and find something fresh to know. Because there's really only so much that 23 authors at one time can say about capital punishment, school uniforms, Roe versus Wade, political interventionism, and the future of the university, while sitting sequestered in the same cloistered classroom without losing a sense of personal place. What's your name?
Patty Newton Jackson's half my whole name.
That's very good. Do you like to write stuff?
Not sure.
Not sure? You like to draw games to play. I know that.
Yeah.
What do you like about that?
Like all the action,
There are two women students in my English 101 class this semester who sit next to each other, and both claim that their favorite work of literature of all time is Ayn Rand's novel Anthem. That book is published by the Objectivist Center in Marina del Rey, California, and passed out en masse to thousands and thousands of 7th graders all over the country for free in an attempt to inculcate some humane political propaganda in their young minds. In that novel, the erstwhile objectivist academic Ayn Rand claims that to write the word I on a piece of paper is the prime act of self. It inaugurates an era of one author's precedence over another and one human being's first act of ego. It establishes, in effect, an island on which one person can sit and choose to preach to another. If students are prevented from naming themselves as I, they can establish no authorial frame of reference and have no platform from which to speak. Can you tell me something that you like about writing?
of course, I do like writing the games and stuff, you know that.
Why is writing games better than writing words?
Oh, like I can make anything I want.
Can you make anything you want when you're writing?
I don't know. You can't tell me what to do because it's my game and I can do whatever I want.
And why do they like what you make?
I don't know. Because the action stuff.
Center College in Danville, Kentucky, aside from the physical education requirement, teaches 2 classes in the academic theories of walking, one taught by Ken Keffer in French, and one by Milton Riegelman in English. They concentrate on peripatetic poetry and the work of Desserteau, Walking in the City, in order to explain how kinetic learning improves environmental cues that students will remember for decades. It puts the headphones on its head, plugs them up, slides the MP3 player into the 5th pocket, like Steve Jobs suggested last month. It puts the Walk-It in its pocket to record the voice comments, and of a sudden, it's high-tech like me, on the cheap. One might also wish to procure a wood stove for all this paper. One shall not need any more. It's cold outside, but it's bright and it's lovely, and inside it is dark, dank, and dusty. But I've got 25 papers in my pocket, and today I get to be the clever rogue who leaves the cave. I'll slither through some neighbors' yards and sneak down this set of stairs where there is sometimes a snake. One road failed to diverge in a wood, and I walked down it every day. Pick up this handy Kentucky throne, wedged loosely in the windward side. Some people are claustrophobic, and some are agoraphobic. Writers, I think, are neither. They're attention deficit. So I find some place to get away, where I cannot hardly get away. Günter Kress argues that the future of English departments is going to be based not on conformity but on creativity, what he calls an apt, plausible theory founded on innovation, constant transformation, and change. As these departments migrate to speech format, Levasseur and Pfaff assert that students are going to need a place to gather their wits, and I quote, "They just have to do a lot more thought and strategizing about what they're doing." Within a box is no place to express oneself. Isolation can spark creativity, but it can never glean productivity. As Professor Bill Enders was saying in class just a few days ago, the mind functions on association, and language is a social function. Universities like the University of Kentucky are doing something wonderful with the learning communities where they're trying to forge connections between students as they learn, rather than putting them in isolation for those 4 years. Anybody who's ever seen Tom Waits or Ray Charles play piano knows what it means to be closing one's eyes as one speaks, because of the way they focus. Like, she bent down and picked the gun up, barely smoking in his hand, whispered, "Father, please forgive me, I can't make it without my hand." They have this need to concentrate internally based on sensory deprivation. In Closing My Eyes as I Speak, Peter Elbow writes that what readers look for in a piece is not writerly prose. It's the right thinking, the right language, and something that's apt for the subject that's being discussed. Elbow's the man who taught so many thousands of students indirectly that it was all right to just find a place, stare at a wall, and write, "I have nothing to write," over and over again, to get a sense of isolation and to cloister until something occurred in the brain. Virginia Woolf agrees in A Room of One's Own that women in particular never had that space to gather their thoughts, no sense of privacy. But I think that authors need a horizon, a place to expand and effervesce and fulminesse, air to fill up, and maybe even just pop.
Well,
when do you not like writing?
Well, when I'm already having fun, I don't really like to write. I just do this for fun. Like if the power went out, I usually do this. I do this for stuff.
That sounds really good.
Like if there was an emergency, like I could bring a piece of, I could run with a piece of paper, then I could write.
Hey, how you guys?
Can I help you with that?
You got anything that'll make you write like F. Scott Fitzgerald?